Yeah,
Can I
don't
have
know
your
if
snow?
there's still snow. But it snowed pretty badly, like Thursday.
It was like a really nice sunny day here, but like moderate
It's actually been
temperatures.
beautiful weather here. It's been so nice.
I say it snowed badly, but I love the snow, so was great.
It could be a heavy snow, right? I love the snow too. Anyway,
The heavy rain.
speaking of the snow, that's where all the dead bodies lie.
Oh yeah.
And the blood. Lots of
And
our blood.
yeah, the snow is just because it's not even snowing right now. The snow is just red on the ground, just sprays and arcs, and even some on like the side of the tavern and things like that.
Is Corpse Flower down?
He is like basically on his knees, laying forward. Just he's conscious.
In
He's
pain,
just
but conscious.
in pain.
Okay.
He's just done.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah, I
what
know.
that's like, Brute.
Yeah. Oh yes, very familiar with that feeling.
I'm gonna help move him to the tavern.
Yeah.
Down.
And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
exactly what I was just going to suggest is we just sling him up. I probably take the broken arm on my
He will,
side.
with his good arm, grab
could
a
just
bottle
probably
of whiskey
carry him.
from the side of the bar as you're passing it, as you go to your table.
Yeah.
And just uncork it and just drink. And be like,
Like, I feel like we just go to the table that we usually sit at
Yeah,
while we're
yeah.
here, but we're all like haggard as fuck and corpse
Yeah.
flowers, just like got a busted arm. Like,
Virik is lying on one of the benches, like right next to you guys, just literally lying there, and every now and then just.
Are those priests in town clerics? Would I have gotten that? Like, would they be able to heal people?
oh, some of them. It's mostly sort of herbalism healing, but yes, to a degree. It's one of those things where he also can heal, just time.
Yeah.
Time.
And
Energy.
the spell Lesser Restoration, which would be enough to like fix broken limbs and stuff, is not something you can just get in most situations like this. So he is
Like, I mean,
that arm is done.
He
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
can't just get it. Though.
He
To be
can.
fair, he has second level spells, right?
Yeah, but most people, like the people in
Right.
town, can't.
Yeah. That's why I was asking clerics specifically, though, was
Yeah.
because I know that if they had a level 2 spell, like if they happened to have lesser restoration, it might be able to help them out. But no, that's
Case by case basis, isn't it?
yeah.
Anyway,
Like, because I have it, I just don't have the spell slots for
no,
it.
not right now. Maybe in the future.
Maybe in the future.
So you guys just take a moment, just take a breather in the tavern. It's empty. He got everyone to run.
Good. Yep. We're gonna, I think, rest
As
for
much as I
an
don't
hour
wanna,
if we can.
For an hour? Yeah.
Like, take a little,
Take a,
you know, a very
short,
short
rest.
Yeah. You know,
Sort
before
of things
you know,
you
just a
drink.
quick
It's one of the things like you start drinking and then you just, almost without thinking, just start bandaging the bad wounds. A lot of you have broken armor that you have to like strap back together either properly or just like wrap a belt around it and tie it as tight as possible to make sure the
And
armor
I'm
fits
doing as
together.
much of this as possible to help with that.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a point where Virik's like, oh. Oh, yeah. Forgot about that one.
Like you just try to lean back against something and like you're like,
Ah, what the? All right.
oh. And then you have to get Barut to do the whole punch it through thing,
Yep.
which is
Uh,
terrible, but the thing you have to do.
Yeah.
I was trying not to.
Fucking Tobias
Hey,
with his ranger hit dice, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, hey, that's like.
I'm a ranged character who has a D10 hit dice.
it makes sense.
That's real good.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
the
rolling
tank
real
of
good
the
on
party,
these.
but I use a crossbow.
It's fine.
That is. Oh my god. That was exactly full health. I rolled exactly full health from 3.
I rolled exactly 1 off of full.
It's so hard to see that though on your little bar because you have so much health compared to everyone else.
I'm
That
only at
one is just
45.
Oh fuck. Okay.
I feel vulnerable with my 1 health missing.
If anyone has an ability where it's like, if they're missing health,
Yeah, exactly.
missing health.
This is when Toll the Dead kills me. But
like a shark gets you.
yeah.
It's when you're doing this and you're patching each other up and patching yourselves up and drinking enough to dull the pain to keep going, which is very much how you short rest when you're in a tavern. You start to feel rumbling in the ground. Maybe at first you think that's maybe another giant. When you look out of the window, from a certain window in this tavern, you look towards the town, all you see is the stone of the Ring of Haldun, a little bit of the Baroness's manor, just a little bit goes above it. There's like the parapet and like a flag. But mostly you see the stone. And it's shaking.
Fuck, we gotta go.
Let's go.
While during the short rest, one thing I think we should do during this hour is divide up the health potions so I don't just have all of them in the
Yes! What a
There's a
great
box
idea!
here where we can leave one in the party bag and everybody gets 2 regular health potions.
Fuck yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I would also, if I could, just take a cursory glance at that sword and see if it's better than the one I'm currently using.
Yes.
Does it look cooler?
It looks cooler. It's made of like a white metal, like an actual like white kind of ivory white metal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
All
kind
right,
of
so I'll
very
start using
sharp.
that one.
Yeah, cool. That'll have ramifications. I'll just tell you because I can't be bothered to make you wait until
Oh,
you
I want
cast
it to be a
identify.
secret.
No,
Okay,
it's
good.
trial by fire. Let's
Great.
see what happens in combat.
Let's see what
I
happens.
love that shit.
We have 2
Yeah,
greater healing potions. Who wants to take those? Or one of them?
You have one left, don't you?
We had 3.
Oh,
Now we
great.
have- now
Well
we
done.
have 2.
Oh,
So we have 2 greater healing potions.
I think Aelinor should probably take one because she's probably gonna take
And
a
I
lot of
think-
brunt.
Barut should take the other because he does have 1 spell left, so he can potentially heal somebody who goes down.
That's
All
true.
right.
Yeah.
Potentially.
So Barut and Eleanor both have a greater healing potion. And
Okay.
That
Okay.
from the party table. So in the party bag, there is still 1 regular health potion.
And we all know where that is now, so we can all go grow if we need to.
Mhm.
Oh fuck. Okay, let's do this.
Let's go.
Where are you going?
Somewhere.
Let's go to the gate and see what we can see. What's go like from the gate into the ring? Like you know the go
when
there
you
and
get up to the when you get up to the gate and you're closer, you can very much see that the stone, because you actually opened a part of the ring. Essentially, you can see the ring is moving and shaking, and it is dislodging the stone. From your reckoning, the ring is moving, and it is still it's dislodging the stone. When it is moved enough, the ring will properly start to move, and in Barut's vision, the ring was upright.
oh no.
Which I haven't explained to anybody yet, but I'm going to now.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much oh good, they're moving it upright.
What color was the stone in that they stole? That we saw a picture of.
It was a sort of umberish brown.
Okay. Do you remember where that stone came from on the ring?
Do I?
It was on the bottom.
On the bottom.
Okay.
So in the order, if you're from where you were looking at it, the front, which would be land side, because the other side faces the sea. The bottom was the earth one, because let's release pretense, right? The right one was the fire one. The left one was the water one, and the top one was the air one.
Okay.
So,
And I'll relay all of
depending on how the ring moves, you're actually quite close to the bottom one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Logistically, that would be kind of where the Baroness's manor is.
Oh fuck.
Because that sits against the ring.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's go. We're going there.
Yep.
Going there. Gosh dang
Are
it.
you going with any speed?
Yes.
Give me athletics or acrobatics rolls if you're Virik.
Yes.
With Mach 5 speeds.
Yeah, I have 50 speed, so
Yeah, exactly. When you start doing Step of the Wind, you just going, and they almost don't need you. Aelord does start lagging behind, but I imagine it's one of the things where you're just like go, you know.
Yeah.
You don't let you just slow down for you. And you get to the Baroness's manor, and it seems to be one of those things where she has gathered a group of definitely the Royal Guard and other people that Aelinor and Tobias would recognize as capable warriors, including Hurl Giant and Kindley, who are now all in the front courtyard of the castle, looking at the stone behind it shaking, and large chunks just crack and fall, and as they hit the ground, they're so large, just like shock waves come out, and it's that most of them are just watching, kind of stunned, you know, because this is just such an intense sight for a regular human who's been living a regular life, you know. Their town is falling apart.
Now, where I would have asked for this, but like where they were put in, that's for us now the top of the ring. Like, it was the front side of the...
Yes,
okay,
from
so
how the ring is currently aligned, it is the top of the ring.
In that case, Virik would just basically run past and start trying to find a way up the wall.
Give me an acrobatics check.
And he would be calling for... he would yell top of the ring as he runs past them.
You do that, and like, Kindle and Hurlgiant kind of like recognize that it's you running. And Hurlgiant will immediately just, like, put his sword in his mouth. He has a great sword. And just start...
I fucking love this guy.
Yeah.
He's suspicious as hell, but I love him.
And will start getting up with you. And actually, like, matches your pace as you start jumping up the rock. And it's one of those things, the rock is falling as you're climbing it, Virik. This was not an easy check like most of the other ones. You actually even have to jump off some chunks as the whole rock side is vibrating. It's the easiest way to describe it. And that's just dislodging. Like when you ever see a glacier, the side of it fall apart, it's very much like that. When you get to the top, because you two would be doing it first, if anyone else wants to try and climb up that, you can give me athletics or acrobatics.
Once I get to the top, I'd throw a rope back if there's anything to tie it off to at all.
Yes, this would be taller than 50. Wait, let me do the brain math.
Well, okay, there's something there to get to. Get to the rope.
That's enough to give you advantage.
Yeah, okay. I'd tie it off and throw it back, and then...
So you can re-roll that with advantage, Tobias.
Yeah.
When you get up there, you can see the elf member of those monks flying. She's basically standing on what looks like a little sort of ring of the orangish sandy magic, and she has the stone kind of in her hands, and the stone is very clearly glowing and shining. Eleanor catches up and just starts going. It's one of the things, she climbs over Barut, comes over Tobias, she's going.
She's just powering through.
And then all four of you, plus your guildmaster, Hurlgiant, are standing there where you can see the elf of the monks standing there with the gate stone. The stone is glowing with just a power so bright that you immediately recognize Brute. It's almost like you can smell the magic in it, and it brings back memories of them building the ring and then taking it apart.
How far away is she?
Probably around 60 feet from you. She's kind of flying off the edge a little bit, you know?
Okay.
Oh, I want to charge her.
If you want to charge her, you're going to have to jump at her.
Yeah.
Give me an athletics check. You got that 20. You absolutely act first.
No idea.
I also going to say, if it was 60 feet, the instant I saw it was her, I was doing this.
She got a 20. She is going first.
Okay,
roll me an athletics, Eleanor.
Alright.
You do not have advantage.
I miss anyway, but I'd be throwing it.
Okay.
Fuck it, let's do it. I don't care.
Oh no.
Please don't die.
You run! And you jump at her. And it's actually the ninja star that you throw that alerts her. She was kind of clearly in a meditative trance, pouring magic into the stone, and her eyes open and she sees you. And she's flying right now. She's just kind of, with the flowing robes draped back. It's one of those things you like, maybe grab a scrap that grips, but then you fall. And you're gonna fall down the side. You're gonna take damage.
Yep.
I didn't realize she was over the edge of the entire
I
thing.
described
I
it.
did.
She was over the edge.
He was over the edge,
I
yeah.
missed that part. Fuck.
That's a sound that you just never want to
It wasn't
Oh.
20. It was not 20 dice. It's a 50-foot high
Well, that's
thing,
good.
more or less, onto sharp rocks. But
Please don't
luckily
die.
there's no
That'd
mechanic
be the
for that.
worst way to die.
14 damage.
Okay.
And you're knocked. So basically,
Back up.
for now, you're out of that scene. You're climbing back up.
Yep.
She will look over the lot of you, and she will just say, "Simply, you cannot stop this. This is the fate of the world. We will return things to as they should be."
You're really confident about that, huh?
You say that, the ring shifts a lot more.
Oh,
You actually, that's one of the ones where you feel the lurch of momentum. Like, very clearly the ring is trying to right itself, and it's just breaking the stone.
I'm gonna go to Brute and just say rope.
Yep. I'm already pulling mine out and like wrapping it around my
She,
stomach.
like, you're doing this, and she starts, doing a slight villain monologue. It's the words of Shireen. That we are thieves of this
like a
world,
real
and we will return this world's owners.
I grab the rope that I strung over the edge, pull it up, and I wrap it around the short sword.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah. No, we know what's going on here.
Yeah!
We know what's going on here.
Yeah! You're just starting to
we-
prepare yourselves.
Yeah.
As she's speaking, of course.
Yeah. Look, we've been through this once before.
Exactly. You know what you're
We know
dealing
this
with.
rodeo.
When when a villain's monologuing, you might as well be productive.
Exactly. Yeah, we're preparing. And the other, like, I'm gonna encourage the dialogue and talk with her and just say, "Oh, so you're believing this based off of the word of somebody, not off of your own personal experience, research."
The words of Shireen are gospel.
Oh,
Taught
good.
to him by the dragons of the sands. The gate stone shall bring a poor
Right.
part. The ancient world.
Right.
Starting with Earth. This world will be brought into matter.
It sounds
Why?
like he's fed you a bunch
Can
of
you get a rope
bullshit.
on your crossbow and like throw it, like saying this quietly on your crossbow, shove it into her.
Well, while she's doing this, I'm just like staring her down and / doing this.
So you don't hear me at all. I'm like talking to you and nothing.
No, you do.
I definitely hear you, but I'm very much focusing.
They don't
on
have.
That's
They straight up have nothing other than being an elf. They're immune to sleep and charm.
So no immunities, no vulnerabilities,
Nothing
no,
special.
nothing.
She is a regular elf with magical powers. She's not being changed into anything.
Cool. That's good news.
Very valuable
That is
information.
actually good news. Yeah.
I'm taking
From
off
your
the mask,
understanding,
putting it on my side.
she is, just an incredibly useful and important member of this religion, whereas the other person you see is clearly the person in charge. They're not here right now.
Yeah. So I'm gonna basically still be talking to her a little bit and just saying, so it sounds like he's pretty much convinced you of this then, but it also sounds like he's kind of just been feeding you bullshit because
You will see the truth, my brother.
It sounds like
soon
he doesn't know
enough.
how this was built. It sounds like he doesn't know how this was created, or that it was created by dragons. Or if he does, it sounds like he is feeding you lies to make you think that the dragons want this return.
Not
But really,
all dragons were loyal to their own kind.
No, of course they weren't. But why would you want to trust traitors?
So at this point, what was your plan, Varric? You wanted Tobias to basically wrap the rope around a crossbow bolt?
A crossbow bolt with the rope to go into her and then hand it to Hell Giant. Hand the rope to Hell Giant.
I
So-
will absolutely do that if that is.
So you can wrap the at this point. You've wrapped the rope around the crossbow bolt. Do you want to try and take the shot?
I will.
And I
You will
also
have
would be running up-
disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm running up with the short sword with the thing wrapped around it as well, just in case that misses.
Okay.
I will have disadvantage.
The ground is shaking.
True dat. All right. In that case, what I will do is shoot her with disadvantage with the crossbow bolt. As a rope timer.
Yes, you
Good.
will.
Good. Glad we
You know what? I
determined.
appreciate that attitude.
Real clarity on that.
I was just scanning my options.
No, yeah,
like-
I know. It's just funny.
All right. I mean, I'm gonna use Slayer's Prey as a
Mhm.
bonus action to this to make it hurt more if it does connect.
Absolutely
But
right.
Shazam! That's a 12.
Oh, it was so close.
20.
That
Oh.
is a miss.
Painfully.
And that's when she shakes her head, and at this point the ground is shaking even more. At this point you feel the ground starting to tilt below you. And if you look behind you, it's much more evident because the rock is just falling into the town as the ring is starting to upright. Now, Virik, you said you were going to start running at her with the rope, right?
Yep.
So in which case, why don't you give me a ranged attack, please, with the dex? So you want to throw it at her, essentially, right?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Mm-hmm. While
So
holding
what
on
do
to
I
the other
roll
side.
for that?
Ranged dex attack roll, please.
Okay, so just one of like my throwing stars.
Just,
for
yeah, do a
example.
throwing star attack. It's basically the
Yeah.
same.
Oh, that's disadvantage.
You have disadvantage.
Oh, okay.
Because the ring is now starting to go, and it's moving very quickly. It's
Well,
a whole... Yeah, it's one of those things. This one, give me a dex save. Because you gotta throw this fucking 50 feet of rope, you know? It might get away from you. It does not. You manage to reel it back and just focus on not falling off the ring. Slightly more important. She will... cast a spell. And she will say, you should accept your fate on this world. And maybe our new masters will be kind. That's why she casts a spell.
No fate is set.
Why don't you guys give me a strength save? Thanks.
Including me, or am I still climbing?
You're climbing this, but at this point the ring is now moving against you. You can
Don't be
give me an
underneath it.
athletics check with disadvantage to climb up, but this is gonna be one of
Okay.
those.
Am I
It's
still getting
rough.
advantage from the rope?
The rope is on the other. The rope is being pulled
Oh,
up and was
come
on the
on.
other side, so no, you're disadvantaged.
I was so close to being good, and then it
Oh,
wasn't.
Hellgiant has to do one as well. Luckily, he's got a wicked good strength. Yeah, you're not getting up. It's one of those things where you may. I don't know if you necessarily give up, but you really like as it's going, it's twisting. It's going to be very hard to climb. Maybe you want to wait until it's actually positioned itself. But you have the clearer sign because you're below it. You can see that the ring is dragging through the earth, and it's
Right.
probably gonna sit itself in the middle of the town. So it's just gonna destroy
fuck.
everything
I
in its
know.
path. Now, everyone but Tobias, as she says that, a strong gust of wind launches from her, and you two are launched off, including Hellgiant, actually.
Ow.
Oh, wow.
So let's start with Barut. Virik,
yeah.
if you want to try and do a, you can give me
Yeah.
a dex save right now.
I also have the rope attached to me.
Also, give me a dex save. Because the downside is... Oh, the rope is it's the same rope.
It is attached to me. Yeah, I'm giving it to Virik. I handed Virik the other end of the rope that I was wrapped around my
That
stomach.
would have
If I
changed things
failed
in the
that,
past,
I
but don't
was
worry
fucked.
about it.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
one of those
okay.
things where, because of that 20, and you're falling, and you launch it, and at this point, you launch the thing into the ring, because where you're standing, it's not really stone anymore. If there is stone, it's being slid off. You can into the tough metal stone hybrid of the ring, and it secures in place enough for you to hold it out. Now, Virik, you actually have the choice to climb back up if you wish. Tobias is a very important choice. As the ring is moving, do you want to try and stay where you are or move to a safer place? Like, because it's tilting.
I would like
You
to
know.
do neither. What I would like to do
I'll allow it.
is, because basically everyone's fallen off this ring.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's basically on path to just cause massive destruction to this city. So seeing this is pretty much the only chance I'm going to have to really stop any of this. I'm going to pull out my Khopesh and pull out my rapier and just stance up, use my bonus action to cast Zephyr Strike. And I'm going to use the extra movement right away. And I'm going to run towards her as fast as possible with Zephyr Strike activated. Try to launch myself off the edge of this ring and take her to ground.
You can give me an athletics or acrobatics with advantage using Zephyr Strike to try and, like, launch and grab her.
The result of that will change what I will do, so I'll wait as well.
It's all happening at the same time, more or less. I'm more or less giving you turns, you know?
Okay.
You know? You, with the fucking wind, like, the wind blows against you from her magic, and then you turn it around, you launch at her, and you grab her. One thing of note, she lets go of the stone, and it stays in place, as you take her, and just launch to the ground. Meaning, she and you take the fall damage.
Yeah, I'm also using my action to stab her.
Do that attack roll, please. She's gonna have much less AC
AC
because in fact, have advantage because of this. Yeah, that doesn't hit.
I believe you.
It's one of the things where you start trying to stab her and she just starts like.
Yeah.
Because she's a freaking
Fucking
monk.
monks, honestly.
A magic monk.
Yeah.
But they have a 100% death rate, so all things should go well, really.
With the rope lodged where it is, can I swing
I would recommend you to ask your question when I have processed the entirety of the last question, please. It's like the DMV. One at a time.
I'm sorry.
So basically, I imagine you even throw it in such a... do this whole thing in a way so you land on top of her. And you
That's
do.
the idea.
She just fucking takes it. She almost looks like she accepts that this is going to happen, focuses on stopping you attack her, and just takes the damage. You are going to take... 23 points of damage as you land. Now, Varric, what are you doing?
Okay, so so I've hooked the rope in and it's lodged. Can I see if that that stone is within the swing of the rope if I was to swing around?
Because the ring is moving away,
Probably not.
you have one chance.
Oh, okay.
But the issue is, Barut is attached to the end of the rope. You cannot use that rope to grab it.
That's true. Okay, well, I will just take a
You
jump
have
then.
to jump for it.
I would.
Sorry.
Which you would.
No, it's fine.
Exactly. That's why I didn't realize the tying a
If anyone's
rope
gonna
thing.
take this fall, it's me. Like,
Yeah, true.
so I'm going to take a jump for it. What do I do?
Acrobatics with disadvantage because you're running against the turn.
Yep. Whew. Hey!
Oh.
It's good, but it's not quite Carling. Give me a dex save.
Oh, okay. Normal disadvantage.
Normal, because now you're going to be in the air. Dex saves are when you're in the air.
That
You
was
jump?
really.
You get a huge amount of air. Your fingers slip at it. Ting, ting. And then you keep going.
Well, okay. Just gonna preemptively do a thing.
It's 17 fall damage. You actually take none.
I take none. Yeah,
You managed
I
to
do
roll
that.
with it, especially because this was conscious. So, funnily enough, this leaves you three without Barut in basically the same place with the elf, whereas Barut is going to be in the middle of the ring when it finishes rotating, which is soon. To Barut, where your sight, you can see the wood and stone buildings standing no chance as the earth is being uptoned.
Can I see this thing, the gate key?
Mm-hmm.
How far away from it is me? Or how far away from it am I? I'm tired. It's been a long day.
It's a stressful moment. It's a long day.
I've been up since 3. Cut me some slack.
It is 3. Anyway.
Yeah.
Around, because it's constantly moving, around 50 feet.
I'm gonna take just a random shot in the dark here, if you will.
It's the time to do it.
And take a shot with my short bow at it while I'm kind of like,
Oh.
and just see if I can knock it out of place, basically.
Yeah.
Would that be a disadvantage, sir? Or normal?
Considering
I
you're
am, like-
roped, I'll
Yeah.
actually give it to you normal because you actually have a very if you like plant your feet
Yeah.
and
That's
the
the
side
idea.
you're on is going to be the top because the inside.
Yeah.
So you're getting a nice easy place
Okay.
to take a shot from.
Damn it. It's an inanimate object, but I imagine that's probably still not good enough.
It's one of the things where the arrow kind of bounces off the side, and then you
Yeah.
notice because the ring is righting itself, and you guys can see this as well. The stone is very clearly moving, and now that you can see the ring out there, you guys on the other side because you're facing the front of it, you can see very clearly, essentially a square section at each point with a hole for these gate stones. They're not big, but not big compared to the whole thing. You can see it flying into the place to seal in place. This is when the elf below you is laughing. It's like, you can't stop it. We will gather the gate stones and bring the world back to order.
Please stab her.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was just about to say, I
If you want to take attack rolls against her, please do. You guys have advantage because she's on the
I
ground.
would actually go to Tobias, get the stone, I'll get her.
Cool. I will trust
And while
you
she's
with that.
prone, I imagine.
Mhm,
So
she's still prone. And if
I'm
Ayla wants
actually
to, feel free. Hey! Alright, do a bunch of attacks.
Ah,
2 hits.
okay, I can guess which ones those are.
Uh-huh.
Oh wow, that's consistent and bad.
Wow.
All right, so I will attack. I wasn't going to. Like,
Oh!
Oh,
But-
Oh!
We're just gonna take off this woman's head.
Unfortunately, that's not
I
nearly enough damage to do so.
Reroll. Oh, really? I'm gonna reroll the 1 as well. So it's an extra 3 damage.
She angry.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you just start... She actually will straight up put her hands in the way. The sword goes through both of her hands, but she uses that to stop you taking off her head, and she will get up. At that point, can you 3 roll initiative for me? Nah, don't worry about it. There's basically an order in place. I'll just keep using that. I'm using math right now, and my brain doesn't work. There we go. And she will
Start
pull away
climbing up.
and scrabble away. You start climbing up. Give yourself a acrobatics or athletics with disadvantage because you're climbing against the movement. She will immediately...
Very cool.
It's one of those things you have to try and like start jumping off the falling rock chunks. Is not easy. It's not possible. Now, Virik, when you see the fingers twitch, even though they're cut open completely, you know that she's summoning a portal to get
Yep.
out of there. I will give you a dex save to try and like grab her hands and stop her.
Yep,
And
that
it's
is
flat.
100% what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
That's 10. That's not good enough.
It's contested.
Oh,
You grab at her, you try to grab at her, she sweeps you away to the side with some of her blood lingering on you, and she creates a portal behind her and just kind of falls through it. And it closes, just leaving sand on the snow. That's when you guys look up and you see the gate stone fuse in place. There's a glow of magic. You can almost see lines of magic inside the ring as one part of the ring is complete. And all the rock that was falling off kind of starts to refuse to the bottom, start to crawl up it, as one of the gate stones is in place in the ring. When the ring fully secures itself, there's a resounding shake in the earth that ends the shaking of the earth. And you just hear chaos when you can now focus on it. You can see fires in the town. You can see the path of destruction it's taken where some foundations sort of remain, but not much. It is chaos. And the ring now sitting, this mammoth structure that dwarfs every single one of you. It was large even to the full-size dragons in your memories, Barut. Is just standing on its side upright, one of the gems in place.
I'm going to try and pick up some of the snow with her blood on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try and put that into any sort of container I have.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, we have an empty potion container.
Exactly.
We do.
Yes. I always assume adventurers have ways to store things like that. It's snow, but it'll melt. You still have a little bit of blood.
And I'm not going to lie, I took off my mask at the start of this fight, but Virik would have forgotten that, and he's just going to run to go help people.
Yeah. Is that the mission now? Help people?
I don't think we could do much else.
I'm standing on top in the center of town right now, basically.
You're essentially in the center of town. You're not on the top of the ring. You're in the inside.
No.
Yeah.
What I mean by
I know
that
what
is,
you
like,
mean. I just want to straight up clarify.
Yeah.
You can see just these almost crystal structures on the inside of the ring that clearly power it, that are glowing from this section. Of course, not glowing in the other four. And just like cements that this part is active, and you probably shouldn't stand on it. But you can stand on the edge. And there's there's like a 10 feet edge on either side that you can easily stand on, and then it's more or less 50 feet.
And I know that this is magical, but I'm trying to get information, and I'm going to sit down, and I'm going to ritual cast Detect Magic.
As you're doing that, and imagine Tobias and Eleanor, you just immediately go into rescue mode.
Yeah.
As well, right? Cool.
I mean, yeah.
If there's nothing around for me to stab.
I'm definitely gonna down one of those potions.
Yeah,
'cause I'm
that's
hurting.
a good idea. Fall damage ain't something to laugh about unless you're Virik and you're not at terminal velocity.
What is it? 44 plus 8?
44 plus 4 for a greater. Barut, the magic of the portal now that is active is beautiful and terrifying. Of course, the portal is not finished. It's a circuit. It needs all 4 parts. But even what you see is such a powerful teleportation magic potential inside it that, hell, if someone was smart enough, they could probably make something out of just one part of the ring. But luckily, you know that's not the goal of the monks. Even though one of them is intelligent in magic, maybe it's not that kind of intelligence. You see no way to stop it. It seems like the gem is now completely securely in place. When the dragons removed it, there was a whole ritual process. Thing, yeah. And if you'd even reckon to guess, they can only be removed when they're all inside as well, which just makes it even worse. Now you can actually, to go even further, you can tell that this magic is radiating out. Elemental earth magic. That is doing very little now, but will probably add up. And you reckon will damage the town even more, maybe create earthquakes, maybe create almost like a mountain around the side of the ring. Because it's kind of sitting on a bit of rock as well, which makes it even more elevated.
Tobias was running to try and get the stone, right?
Before, yeah.
Initially, yeah, but it just...
Not now.
...was impossible.
Okay. Part of the reason why I ask is, like, would you have been still running towards the center to try and help people?
At this point, yeah. The whole east side of town that has just been scooped up and destroyed. They would be trying to find anyone that managed to hide in a basement, in the path of the river, because there's a river that goes through the town in quite a lot of a ditch, so a lot of people ran and hid there. And those guys are mostly okay, to a degree, right?
Yeah.
Commoners don't take a lot of beating. There's going to be a very high death toll. But
I feel like the first thing Tobias is gonna do is honestly run to
his
like
house.
his house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See how the old fam is doing.
Absolutely. So what are you doing, Barut? What's your train of thought?
People need to leave. This is not... It is no longer a safe place to inhabit. Baroness's mansion was in the way.
You can see where it sits. You can quite clearly see its foundation.
Yeah.
Old dwarven foundations, very high quality. You can actually see, considering you're quite high up, you can see that it's, you know, small peoples. You can see probably a whole group, basically everyone she gathered, probably managed to get into the basement in time.
Okay.
it's one of those things that from this far away, you probably don't want to think about what you can see are rocks and what you can see are bodies.
Well, it doesn't matter what I can see from this far away because I'm walking over there.
You need to drop.
Yep.
You just gonna fall, or you can't try and climb down?
I'm gonna try and climb down like a smart person.
Gotta give the option. So give me athletics or acrobatics. No, athletics.
Athletics.
This is not.
Look.
Acrobatics. Yeah. Some characters you can say acrobatics for this. Okay, considering you have the, I will assume you take a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm not rushing.
You gather up with the rest of the party, and for hours you start trying to help people using whatever little powers you have left, trying to gather people and just gather them together. The foundation at the base of the Baroness's castle seems like a good place to gather people for now.
And I'm doing a lot of this. If I can find anybody who's
That's an amazing spell you have, because people in their death throes, you can get to them in time. And you spend the rest, basically, of the day trying to capture people. And even people on the other side of town, because lanterns have been thrown aside that caused fires and things. The part of town that's still together.
I would be going to places to rescue people where it looks like people who couldn't get fast or high quickly. I would be going there. I would be going
exactly. You don't need to. We don't need to go over it too much. You are spending your time rescuing people and trying to gather basically everyone in the town together, including the Baroness, Kindley.
How's Hurl Giant doing?
Hurl Giant? You do not see. Fireflies, where you get to Chasm Guard's basement. You can get fireflies and the other guy.
Hurl Giant didn't die from that jump, did he?
You would have found his body.
Yeah.
The other guy is the steward and rarely shows up. Zotar Umbolt. Zotar. Because you rarely talk to the steward because you're not very polite. So I don't remember his name. Yeah, you can find them. Very injured. Fireflies is very much not in a good condition, but you can, drag them, and you just gather everyone together to try and work out what the plan is and where to go. And straight up, it's one of those things when when you are fairly sure you have a lot of people and torches are lit and a big fire is lit in the middle of this area that's an old dwarven, beer cellar, essentially. But of course, collapsed in on itself, but it's, enough of an inset space. All the people of note look to you guys, because you know what's going on to some degree. And it'll straight up be Kindley who just sort of asks, what now?
Do you think, I would turn to Brute, say this quietly, do you think the Forest Giants would allow them to seek refuge for a while?
No. Okay. I think we might be able to ask them for aid, supplies, perhaps. But housing, no. They would not welcome that many, especially from Slate Cove into their
own. It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. Aid, possibly. They may help, but no, we do need to get everybody out of here, though. This place is lost.
It's a good... I'm trying to do the numbers in my head. It's a good 250 or so people. Which is not... town probably had around 1,000. Now, this is bearing in mind that you've only been searching for around 6 hours or so. High chance of other people who just ran, and especially people who are out to sea, who stayed out at sea, and you could see that because
we told a bunch of people. We told a bunch of people about what was going on, and that it was not safe to be in town. So.
One thing of note, Tobias. Mm-hmm. Your house was in the path. Your brother did not make it. But the rest of your family did. Right, continue.
Are you back with us at this point?
I feel like while you guys are kind of there, Tobias would just show up, with his parents,
Parents
carrying
and sister.
his little sister,
Yeah.
and like you would definitely notice his brother's
The
not
absence.
with them.
Burrow would immediately walk over to Tobias. Fuck everything else that's happening at this point. Just hand on shoulder. Anything you need. Anything.
You know, I don't think Tobias is even really gonna say much. He's just gonna kind of give you a nod. Yeah, like there's not really words to describe the.
Yeah, exactly right. You're just kind of
Lost.
numb. What you can hear is that the priests who are still around, a lot of the priests are old, probably wouldn't make it, are very much doing almost a mass prayer around the fire. You know, everyone who can is everyone who believes is holding hands around the fire and just praying for those that passed to be safe and praying that those they can't find to still be alive and such things like that.
Will, can you move your token? I just want to see what's around us.
Yes.
So, when it comes
can
to
move them
towns
that way.
nearby, there's Thunderall, but in the forest, there are other elven communities. There are other elven towns and villages. There is the Jotunskogr, which has the forest giants here, and Lendir. Lendir isn't really... it's big enough for all these people. The Shiver is, as far as all you guys know, just a big city. Or just a city. Kind of on top of a cliff off up that way. Trade
That's not gonna
paths that
work.
go up there. But you don't know much more about it. Maybe Barut could give me a history roll if he really cares.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, like, I'm racking my brain for anything
Yes.
and everything that
Did you
might...
say Lendir was too small?
Lendir isn't too small. Lendir is actually quite a good idea to go to. The wondering I was thinking is maybe it's a bit dangerous. But really it isn't if you marched everyone over that way.
Where did we put the black?
Also, we have
with
good
clan
word
in
in
charge?
leaders. Sorry.
Sorry. Where did we put the blacksmith clan in charge?
That's Lendir. So that's
Lendir,
why
yeah.
it would be actually quite
That's
safe now.
where-
About it.
Yeah.
The
It
Shiver.
would be safest.
You. So from what you do know, Barut, and you get a bit of a bonus because you're just a general like history nerd, is a kind of walled off halfling city up there.
Which
Office
immediately, knowing even that, Baruid is ruling it out just because of his prejudice against halflings.
Halfling. Oh yeah.
And
Most
also
people
his
would say,
prejudice-
"Oh, halflings are nice and friendly." Not Barut.
No, Baruid knows. He knows. And just the idea of it being a walled-off city just reminds him too much of...
Very
yeah.
much a walled-off city could turn people away.
Exactly.
So imagine if you're having this conversation out loud, Lendir would pretty much be the choice that is most logical. It's a week-long trek, but it's the best bet.
Where's Corpse Flower?
So the local is actually still intact.
Oh, good. Great.
It's outside of the ring.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
So he didn't really leave. You can go and get him, and he even actually gathered. He basically started doing as much as he could in his little area, just pushing through it. But now they would all be gathered together. You know, you have the whole town here.
I know he's probably had time to rest, but as much as possible, like, if I see him still struggling with that arm...
He has
as
a
much as-
broken arm that he can't get the armor or the shield off because of how broken it is.
I know it's not a lot,
This arm is gonna need to be removed at this rate. Right.
but I'm doing as much as I can cure wounds wise, and then I'm gonna tell him when we rest. After we rest, I'm going to do more, but I can't. I just can't right now.
Yeah, exactly. He'll believe you though. So pretty much, the town and the people in charge, which are at this moment you, the Baroness, and Kindley, you come to the agreement that Lendir is the best place. You just got the blacksmith clan in charge, and Lendir, Eleanor's quite an important person. It's the north. You're people in need. There's no way they'll turn you away. You just need to get there.
Is there any way to send? Do we have any messenger birds? Still
Really,
alive?
no. Aside from, you're very fast, Virik.
Yep, that's what I was
If you actually go ahead, you'd get there like 2 days in advance. If you flat out, like, it's one of those things, you'll be exhausted, but
Oh yeah.
don't really worry about that right now. That would be a great way to send warning if you wanted to do that.
I would definitely do that.
Cool. We're basically going to do quite a few sort of time skips and fast forwards.
Yeah.
So
When-
I will just try to organize people. And
Exactly. That's kind of what
And
I was
then-
assuming.
yeah.
And the dogs
Yeah,
are
that's
still about panicking, of course. Yeah, you guys are... So very much how I imagine this is as it's going. You send Virik off in advance. You make sure he's safe. Probably even give him some potions. And he runs off.
Yeah.
Then it's Aelnor and Barut who are organizing people, making sure everyone has enough food, water, health, even to some degree health potions, supplies. It's gonna be rough, and it's no longer summer. It's actually the start of autumn. So the weather, bad weather, could have a storm. Things are gonna be really bad. So your priority right now is organizing. It's one of the things you spend like the next day organizing for a week-long trek, more or less. Whereas Tobias is just numb. When the trek will take place, he'll probably hunt a lot, I imagine.
I was just about to say, like, what's pretty much going to be happening is, like, every day just leave at dawn, come back at dusk with animals.
Exactly. And there'll be a lot more hunters in the community doing the same as you're traveling. When you get to Lendir, Virik, and you give word to the chief of Clan Grogir, he's mortified. Immediately says a prayer and just starts putting the town into refugee protection mode, getting everything ready as best as possible. And it's one of those things, when you mention that there was a hobgoblin attack first and that was involved, something that happens, community outside of Lendir is called Red Town. Tiefling refugees and hobgoblins, a whole bunch of the clan Grogir just go out and just start just executing the hobgoblins in there out of retribution. And I don't even know if you would stop. You definitely wouldn't be able to stop them.
I wouldn't have the energy to do it. And
exactly.
Like,
whereas it's one of the things, and almost like clearing ground so that people can be there, and tieflings in the community, considering a tiefling helped kill the maniac who took over the town, definitely help a whole lot more, and a little bit of their magic right now might be useful, though the ones here are definitely much less magical.
I would also mention tiefling was key in the defense of and saving the people that could.
Exactly, and it's one of the things. You just start telling the stories so that people can be prepared.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna roll for weather real quick.
And while we're doing that, just so you know, I'm going to be paying attention to this as well as this throughout the entire period here. If I need to be exhausted the whole trip, I am doing
I
it
can
to
imagine
make
you would be exhausted because you would be overexerting yourself to the protection of other people, including repairing Corpse Flower's arm, which is one of those things. It's not even one thing. It's going to be as the week goes, he regains use of the arm to the degree. It'll probably never be the same, but it's his shield arm. He can fight with it. And that will pretty much be what he says when you're like, realize you can never fully fix it because just you left it a night with horrible nerve damage. At least until you become stronger. He's like, it's my shield arm. It'll be fine. One moment. Weather. Luckily, it's not too cold. No storms. It's actually great weather.
Fantastic news.
Actually, brilliant weather, which was your worry, because if it was if a blizzard rolled over, all the commoners, like any common folk, would have had serious trouble. And that allows, even though people are trekking and walking, you're not going at an incredible pace, people to recover to a degree. Especially adventurers like fireflies, doing much better. And even, imagine each morning Barut kind of heals people who are still sick. Fireflies in the last few days is doing the same. right beside you, saying the same prayers, doing the same things, essentially. Kindle? Because I know Brute definitely, you know, is in shock. She's in shock this whole time. Not very talkative. This is death on a scale she's not seen before. And, you know, her adventuring, like, it's almost like, could she have done more? That's probably what's going on in her head. And Hell Giant is still nowhere to be seen. When you get to Lendir, immediately the town starts going into the help of the refugees. And by that time, you know, a couple of days, Virik is mostly recovered, still freaking tired. Haven't had time to actually properly rest this off because just always doing things. And as I would be helping
set up as well.
Exactly, yeah. You're helping set up for people, and that's what happens for the next little while. The next, let's say, month passes with you trying to make a home for people here. It might be temporary. Some people are like, well, when do we get to go home? And you know, it's not a question that has an answer. Because the monks of Shireen, the souls of Shireen, as they call themselves, are still looking for 3 more stones that you are very much aware have to get to first. And it's after a month of recovery and where things are starting to look better. You've had time to recover from your own wounds and focus on helping people, that you will get, Barut specifically, will get a raven. And in the raven is a letter from Vombast that says, the Stone of Air was last seen in a smuggler's market in Estana.
Fuck. Okay. That's bad. That's completely off the west coast of the map.
Yes.
Like, just really far away.
Oh, yeah, there it is. A tiny little island.
Tiny little island.
Yeah.
One thing...
Yes, anything that you want to happen during that time of passing, do let me know.
I was going to say one thing during this month. At some point, Tobias is going to go see... I don't think we have names for these people, but just like resident cleric. Like one of the guys who survived that was like from Slate Code.
And there's also some priests here as well. But yes, no, you don't have names for the druids and priests that do
But
these.
presumably these would be the people who would do like the tattoos and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you're right.
He would go to these people and get tattoos added to the ones already existing on his head, which kind of make up a huge part of the side of his skull.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's like encroaching on his face almost. And by almost, I mean like it literally would be.
So what is the meaning of the additional tattoos?
I mean, as with a lot of them, they're kind of in the giant script or something.
Yeah, they're very abstract, but not as abstract as a Goliath tattoos. Goliath tattoos are almost modern art abstract, right? They have a meaning to them. They have to almost usually explain it to you. In fact, Hell Giant had a dragon in half on his chest. It's very out of the ordinary for, you know, one of them.
But yeah, just getting the tattoos for the symbols, meaning like brotherhood and vengeance, basically just as a commitment to
on
himself
your face,
and
so
the
everyone
outward
knows.
world. Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone, basically, I mean, to some people it doesn't mean anything, but to anyone around here,
anyone in any Northman would understand that to a degree.
I might spend a bit of the month getting to know the underbelly of the city and seeing if they have anyone powerful in tracking magic.
You can give me
because I have that blood.
That's true. Smart mental.
Oh well, yep, that's happening then. He would go see Smart Randall about that then.
That might be something we deal with next session.
Yeah, that's fair.
Burrow's going to be gathering up every single book on the Ring of Haldoon, every single book on the Dragon Age, every single book on the Age of Giants, every single book on the Age of the Primordials, every single bit of information he can find
I actually imagine, because of these two things, your party is essentially staying with Sparkmantle. She owns the bookshop, she owns the magic, and she when all is explained, because of the soft spot she has for you, she would basically allow it, and maybe her and Virik's relationship will grow a little. We'll see about that. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm imagining it in the magical incense-filled shop of hers, going through all her old books and new books and things. Because she's really people here don't care about reading, but she does.
Yeah.
I will be staying at the orphanage.
Yes.
Helping any new children who I imagine there are going to be some.
But where better place for them is there than this, right? So
I just want to point out, if once Bruit sees the tattoo on Tobias's face, I'm assuming I'm going to be able to essentially read it.
Yeah. Yeah, you are immersing yourself in this culture. You have always been asking what they mean, which is maybe a little bit forward to some people, but you would already know.
Yeah. Not going to say anything, just going to walk up to him, grab him by the back of the neck, and put my forehead against his, and just hold him there for a minute.
I'm gonna honestly mimic the gesture, like doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And like for the first time probably since this happened, you just see Tobias like break down and just starts crying.
Yeah. And as you cry, Burrot will actually give you like a proper hug. He's not even wearing his armor right now. Like this is just...
you have no intention of fighting right now.
No.
Yeah.
No. And this is just, and he'll actually give you a proper hug and just like hold your head in tight into his shoulder. Because he's about the same height as you, so it's like actually pulling your head down to do it. And he'll just say, "Don't worry, we'll kill the fuckers." Little more elegantly and in Elvish, but that's the gist.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Cool. So that's kind of where this moment ends off, with Barut studying, with a direction, and with a pact of vengeance. And that's actually going to be where we end today, as a new arc begins. Not going to have a whole season break, because we decided not to bother with that. Because the story is continuing. It's direct correlation. Yep, take your breaths. Allow your emotions. We will be back. I think we were talking about it'll be we're gonna have to talk about when we'll be back. Because we're starting to get into December, which is when weeks have meanings. Next week is my birthday, so we're not doing a stream then. So that I will be streaming, but not a D&D stream. I'll probably be playing Spyro, let's be honest. So that you can come and say happy birthday. I would appreciate that, because that's nice. But keep on Discord, keep watching Twitter. At Twitter, probably best place to know when the next episode of this will be live. And yeah, we'll figure that out, and we will tell you. This is when we start our circle of shame, when we can start talking about every single thing. Tobias, Josiah, Dungeon Dad, who are you? Where can they find you?
'Tis I. You can find me on YouTube at youtube.com. Sorry. https://www.youtube.com/DungeonDad. For you kids at home, make sure you ask your parents before you log on. And that's where you can find me. I have a YouTube channel all about D&D and nifty monsters. The monster coming out tomorrow is an Obliviax, which is a type of moss. It's a type of moss that steals your memories of the past 24 hours. And if those memories happen to include you being a prepared spellcaster, it also steals your spells, and then it can cast them.
This sounds like a Doctor Who monster.
It does,
Right?
yeah.
It's a good time. It's a good time. So that video's coming out tomorrow. So if you want to see that, that's where you can watch it. And if you don't, then I didn't.
Free country, maybe, depending on where you live. It's good stuff. I recommend watching it if you're a DM. It's good stuff. Aaron, who are you? Where can they find you?
Hi, I'm Aaron. I'm super tired. You can find me on Discord. You can find me here. And you can find me on Winterbear's channel on Tuesdays now, which is super fun. And
this might be the last week of that, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe the last week of it, but sure.
yeah.
It's a good time, though. I recommend it.
Virik. Tesh, who are you? Where are you?
I am Tash of the Tash Tube on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. You should follow me on the Twitters though, because that's where I keep up to date about all the things we're doing and lots of cute animal gifts,
stuff.
pictures, and stuff.
Cool. Will.
Hi,
Who are you?
I'm Will. Find me on twitch.tv/WinterbearGames, where, as Aaron mentioned, Tuesday we are playing a modified Stars Without Number game, Your Beers Players Club. It's fun. It's a good time. It might be ending this week. It was a very short mini-series type thing, 4 to 6 weeks type thing, and this will be week 5.
Sometimes, just like right now, an end can be a beginning.
We'll see how that goes. Apart from that, here on Sundays, eventually again, probably. Who knows? We'll see.
2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe more. I don't want to take a whole... But the thing is, there's going to start being Christmas plans that get in the wrenches eventually. And being a Sunday night game, that's going to get in the wrench. Wrench is going to get in there.
Said we do narrowly dodge Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve by
It's true. We do.
Oh
Yeah.
fuck!
Like
Then what
this
does that mean?
Sunday-
to me?
The question
Wait.
is anyone going to be away, right? Is the
Yeah.
thing. Mine.
I will not.
I live in this room. I've actually never left this room ever, aside from that time when I left to go to another room.
Christmas Eve will be a game for me, but I'd be able to do that because it'll be in the morning, and then I could go do what I need to do.
Bye-bye.
So, holy shit!
There you go.
That's right. That's the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This game will be on
That's
Christmas
cool.
Eve if we do it, which we'll have to. I have to figure out what I'm doing
if
for
we do it,
Christmas.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about it. I don't know. All the links for me are underneath my Twitch channel, so just go there if you want to find me.
Absolutely. And it's me. I can't speak. If you found me here, congratulations. You win. You win a whole bunch of exciting and charming Dungeons & Dragons content. There's this show, which I follow Twitter and stuff to know when it's going to start up again. There is also the Wednesday show, A Mother's Love. That's happening at the same time, a month in the past now that a month has gone. But they sail. It'll even out again. And if you like this show a lot, it is supported by Patreon. Hey, what are one of the rewards? A whole extra game in podcast form. That's right, a whole extra weekly game in podcast form. Also in Jarviskjir, also set at the same time. And we figured today, if you did a map, or if you did a line on the map of where the 2 people are, they're directly in the line, which is real cool. Not now that you moved. I also do a whole bunch of other streams. I'm going to be streaming Spyro a bunch this week because it makes me happy. I also do illustrations and art. That's on my Twitter. I'm currently busy with commissions, but if you do want commissions like the faces on the sides, let me know. And that's pretty much it. There's also the wiki, there's also the Discord down below if you want to discuss the games and the setting of Jarviskjir as a whole. And that's about it. Does anyone else have any final words they want to say to the kids at home?
There will be blood.
There will be a lot of blood.
And don't fight wasps.
Especially not with a sword.
Portal completes and there's a giant wasp comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, I did just subscribe to your Patreon, so we'll see what happens next season.
Oh, no.
See
You
later.
watch it, mister.